thought I'd do something a bit different. My dad has purchased over, I don't know if it's over a year or a couple of years, some classic books through, I think with newspapers sometimes you can pay a little amount and then each time you can go and collect a book. And so he's done it with the classics and he's given me the box of them that he's got so far. So I'm going to just go through them, see which ones I've got, which ones I fancy reading, which ones I've read before. And thought I would go through the box with you while you're here. So without further ado, here we go. So the first one is The Prince and the Pauper by Mark Twain. These covers are really nice. Just, I'm assuming underneath they're just, oh no, the underneath is the actual, it's like a shiny cover and then you get this on the top, so that's quite nice. Yeah, so The Prince and the Pauper by Mark Twain. All I know about that one is it's a prince and a pauper who swap places. One wants the freedom to go and do whatever he wants outside the palace walls maybe, and then the other one wants the riches and life that comes with that, so they swap places, and that's all I know. But yeah, that's definitely one I would read. The next one is Little House on the Prairie by Laura Ingalls Wilder. I actually didn't know this was a book. Obviously they're the actors from the programme. But yeah, I would give that a go. That's like the small town feel, isn't it? So yeah, definitely give that one a go. The next one is The Swiss Family Robinson by Johann Weiss. I think there's a sequel to this and I can't remember what it's called, but I have ordered it in at the library. So I'm very fond of the film with John Mills, and so yeah, I would definitely give this a go and want to read the sequel to it as well to see what happens after they've been on this island and built, become self-sufficient on this island. So yeah, that's a definite contender. The next one is Pinocchio by Carlo Collodi. Everybody knows the story of Pinocchio, I think. The boy who, well, the wooden boy who becomes a real boy, but each time he tells a lie his nose grows. And I'm assuming that's how that story goes. I don't know if outside of the Disney version he has a conscience in the form of a cricket, but we'll soon find out once I've read it. The next one is The Lost World by Arthur Conan Doyle. I don't know a lot about this one. His basic idea is inspired many other novels and films over the years, including Michael Crichton's The Lost World and Steven Spielberg's 1993 blockbuster Jurassic Park. Also, it inspired those books and films, so there you go. The next one is Gulliver's Travels, Jonathan Swift. I'm assuming this is just about small people in a town who overcome a giant. That's all I know about that one. Ballet Shoes by Noel Streatfeild. Never read it, but I remember it being in, oh, what's it called? You've Got Mail. It's the book that Meg Ryan suggests to a parent with a child in Fox Books, and it makes her sad because that's the shop that puts her little bookshop out of business. And she mentions all the shoe books by Noel Streatfeild. The Indian in the Cupboard by Lynn Reid Banks. I know this is a film. I remember falling asleep to it when I was a child, so I've never actually seen it all the way through. It's only small, so yeah, it's about an Indian in a cupboard. Adventures of Huckleberry Finn by Mark Twain. Haven't we just already done a Mark Twain one? Did we? Oh yeah, The Prince and the Pauper was Mark Twain, and now we've got The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn. Don't know a lot about this one either. Huck is an innocent viewing the world in a straightforward, uneducated way that allows Twain to satirise the absurdities of slave-owning society and the contradictions of those who claim to be Christian, yet don't live their lives in a wholesome way. This is Twain's masterpiece and a hilarious read and one of the greatest works of American fiction, so there's that one. Rip Van Winkle by Washington Irving. Do not know that story. I've heard the name Rip Van Winkle. It said he's married to a terrible nag of a woman and never seems to be able to do anything right. His only peace comes when he heads into the Catskill Mountains on his own to do a bit of hunting or fishing. Catskills, isn't that from Dirty Dancing? Isn't that the area that they have their summer camp? Catskills, is that right? No idea. Just William by Richard Crompton. I've got an old copy of this that I got from like a school fete when I was younger. This is a much nicer copy because mine, all the dust jacket was ripped and everything. Just like a school, naughty boy at school stories. The Wizard of Oz by L. Frank Baum. We all know that story. The Scarlet Pimpernel by Baroness Orczy. They seek him here, they seek him there. These Frenchmen seek him everywhere. Is he in heaven? Is he in hell? That damn elusive Pimpernel. So is he a mysterious English nobleman? Sir Percy Blakeney adopts a range of clever disguises in order to rescue innocent victims from the guillotine during the French Revolution. Together with his band of helpers, he defies his cruel adversary, Citizen Chauvelin, with great courage and daring, never revealing his true identity, even to Marguerite, the woman with whom he falls in love. Oh, so it's a bit of a romance as well. I mean, the words in this are quite small, so even the ones that seem a bit small are probably a bit heftier than they seem. We've got I Capture the Castle by Dodie Smith. I don't know much about that one. I Write the Sitter in the Kitchen Sink explains our teenage narrator Cassandra before she proceeds to describe her eccentric family and their life in a dilapidated old castle. Her father, who's supposed to be a writer but hasn't written anything for years. Her stepmother, who's given to wandering naked in the rain. And Sister Rose, who's keen to capture the heart of one of the rich Americans living nearby. Will Rose catch herself a husband? Will her father ever write again? And what happens when Cassandra falls in love? The joy of this story lies in Cassandra's naive yet shrewd perceptions of those around her, which often reveal more about herself than them, and her funny original descriptions of the bizarre world she inhabits. Well, that sounds quite interesting. We've got Black Beauty by Anna Sewell. I think I remember a film of that, maybe in the 80s, with Sean Bean as one of the characters. The Jungle Book by Rudyard Kipling, again, only know the Disney version. Alice's Adventures in Wonderland by Lewis Carroll. That's quite short, that one. Quite surprised. I thought that would be longer. These all say Children's Golden Library on them, actually. And another Mark Twain one, The Adventures of Tom Sawyer. Let's see. Tom Sawyer is an impudent, mischievous tearaway, causes his Aunt Polly no end of worry. Together with his friend Huckleberry Finn, right, okay, so it's carrying on from that. He gets into all kinds of scrapes around the quiet town of St. Petersburg, Missouri, but neither of them feels quite so cocky after they witness a murder one night. Will the true murderer be caught? What happens when Tom and his sweetheart Becky Thatcher get lost? Join Tom and Huck as they bungle away through risky exploits and foolish escapades on the banks of the Mississippi River. So I didn't know Huckleberry Finn and Tom Sawyer were linked together, and the same author wrote them both. The Secret Garden by Frances Hodgson Burnett. I've seen that film with that girl in it. Let's see. Robinson Crusoe by Daniel Defoe. That's kind of stranded on an island, isn't it? Shipwrecked on an island somewhere in the Pacific. 2000 Leagues Under the Sea by Jules Verne. Several warships have been involved in strange accidents at sea, and Professor Aronnax is dispatched to investigate sightings of a peculiar kind of monster described by survivors. Is it a whale or possibly a narwhal? The professor's theories have to be hastily revised when after the ship founders he finds himself inside a giant submarine and meets the bizarre Captain Nemo. So there you go. Some of these are a bit dusty because they've been up in a lot. I'll see if I can write it down. The Three Musketeers by Alexandre Dumas. The picture is the one with oh, what's his name from The Slipper and the Rose? Oh, that's going to annoy me. Who's in The Slipper and the Rose? Gemma Craven and Richard Chamberlain. So yeah, The Three Musketeers. I'm up for giving that a go. Again, writing's quite small in that one. Let's see, we've got The Story of Dr. Dolittle by Hugh Lofting. That's the doctor who can talk to animals. We've got The Hound of the Baskervilles by Arthur Conan Doyle, so Sherlock Holmes. Kidnapped by Robert Louis Stevenson. Is that one about pirate ships? Young David Balfour goes to seek help from his villainous uncle Ebenezer after his father's death leaves him penniless. Rather than relinquish his ill-gotten control of the Balfour estate, Ebenezer has David kidnapped on a ship bound for the Carolinas, where he meets the plucky Alan Breck, After their ship is wrecked on the coast of Mull, David and Alan witness the murder of King's officer Colin Campbell and become prime suspects themselves, forcing them to flee across the Highlands. This romantic tale of treachery and peril, centred around the true story of the murder of Colin Campbell, the Red Fox of Glenore, is steeped in the atmosphere of 18th century Scotland. So there you go. Kidnapped. The Wind in the Willows by Kenneth Grahame. I know that story really well. Maybe I should read that one before I read The Willows in Winter to make me more want to read it. The Little Mermaid by Hans Christian Andersen. I read that recently in the Treasury, so I don't need to read that again. Swallows and Amazons by Arthur Ransom. I think that's quite a well-known one, isn't it? I mean, most of these are, to be fair. This beautiful story of childhood freedom and adventure is set in vividly described landscapes and packed with useful information on sailing, camping and fishing, but how much of the drama is genuine and how much imagined? Are they even in real danger? It's the fun of being a kid though, isn't it? The imaginary danger. Dracula by Bram Stoker. What writing's quite small in that one as well. Gosh, there's quite a lot here. Bedknobs and Broomsticks by Mary Norton. I read that one recently, so I don't need to read that again. Anne of Green Gables by L.M. Montgomery. Oh, Lucy Maud, that stands for. I didn't know that. Lucy Maud Montgomery. Read that recently. The Borrowers by Mary Norton as well. Read that recently. Robert Louis Stevenson, Treasure Island. Jim Hawkins is our 18th century hero in this legendary tale of danger and excitement. The hunt for buried treasure involved map smuggling, mutiny, and the most villainous pirate of all time, Long John Silver. So there's that one. All of the covers have got colours down the side, so you can imagine if they're on your shelves, those actually look quite nice. Purple and blue there, green, red, green. So they would look nice together on the shelves. The Railway Children by Edith Nesbit. That's the scene from the film where Bobby and... is it Phyllis and what's the little boy called? Is it Tom? Bobby, Phyllis, and oh no, yeah, Bobby, Phyllis, and Peter. And they're sat waiting for the train to come. Let's see, Peter Pan by J.M. Barrie. I know Gavin from How to Train Your Gavin read this recently and wasn't that impressed with it. I read the retelling. What was that one called? Is it called Straight On Till Morning? I wasn't that impressed with that one, to be fair. A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens. I recently tried Little Dorrit by Charles Dickens. I had to give up, but that was quite a thick one. This is quite thin. The writing is quite small, but it's not much to it, and so I think I will give that a go, because like most people, I've seen the Muppet version, but I haven't seen or read the original. And then Little Women by Louise May Alcott, which I have read. That's the old film with I can't remember who plays. Isn't it? She plays Jo in it, I think. The one who was in National Velvet. Oh, can't remember. If I think of it, I'll put it up here. But there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 36 books there of classics that I may consider at some point reading. It will be nice to have these. I think he's obviously he knows I'm a reader, but a lot of these ones, especially these children ones, he's thinking of Sophie really. So definitely keep these in mind for Sophie as well. She's getting really into chapter books at the minute. As you know, we've been doing the Story Treehouse books, and recently I started on the Awesome Friendly Kid books by... Is that by Dave Pilkey or something Picton? Liz Picton. When I find out, I'll put it here. But we finished reading one of them last night, and she really loved it. Diary of an Awesome Friendly Kid. So I'm thinking I'll go on to the Wimpy Kid stories, because she's liking those. Anything that's just a bit silly will make her laugh. Preferably stuff with toilet humour and wee and poo. She thinks that's hilarious. Anything where they play pranks on each other or on particularly on the adults in their lives. So there's plenty of those around that I can find. So if you've got any suggestions in that line, let me know. If you've read any of these classics, if any of them have tickled your fancy, if there's any that you think I'll particularly like, let me know. Have any of you collected ones like these, like my dad has? A while ago, I did the classics from the Daily Mail, which was like Pride and Prejudice and Wuthering Heights and things like that. And then once I'd finished with them, I think I put them on eBay for like, for what I think I paid like £3 per book, but I put them on eBay for something daft, and it was quite nice actually because a lad from who was doing his starting an English lit or something like that course at uni bought them, and they were made up with them because they got them for a steal, and then he had the whole collection of ones that he was probably going to read at uni. So yeah, that was really nice. So there you go. All of the classics there, ones that probably from January to December next year I'll try and slot in when I can. Sorry about the lighting in this, it's because I keep moving around. And just something a bit different rather than my usual TBR game, wrap up. Um, yeah, TBR game and wrap up most months, isn't it? So yeah, hopefully speak soon, and thanks for watching. Bye.